what you have is two constituencies. You've got traditional finance, and traditional finance operates 19% of the time. It costs $40 million to take a company public. There's no credit, there's no liquidity on the weekend. Bitcoin represents a different thing. It represents the 21st century. So I think the millennials are looking at the world today, and they think electricity, water, elevators, the internet, they operate 100% of the time. Bitcoin operates 100% of the time. Why are we stuck with 20th century banks, money markets, and capital markets that shut us down at 4 p.m. on Friday, don't open up until 9:30 on Monday? If we did that to your food, your water, or your air, it would be considered cruel and unusual punishment.
It's been a challenging few days for the cryptocurrency market and the global economy as a whole. While markets have shown some signs of recovery since Tuesday, a cloud of uncertainty and a looming sense of doom still linger over the global economy, with many experts warning that this could mark the start of a prolonged period of chaos. Amid these bleak predictions and generally low market sentiments, billionaire business executive and staunch Bitcoin advocate Michael Saylor remains highly optimistic and exceedingly bullish on Bitcoin. According to Saylor, a financial revolution is currently sweeping the globe, poised to overhaul the foundations of our existing financial system. In its place, Bitcoin is emerging as a key building block of a new financial system, powered by the world's most robust network and free from the many pitfalls of traditional finance. In a recent interview with CNBC, Saylor highlighted that the increasing number of influential figures openly supporting Bitcoin in 2024, just 2 years after the outcry following the FTX collapse in 2022, is a strong indicator of the Bitcoin revolution, which is finally bringing about the digitization of global finance. For decades, technology has revolutionized every aspect of our society, except for our financial system, which has remained largely untouched. This stagnation has allowed the controversial custodians of the trust system to exploit the world for trillions of dollars annually, promote and profit from destructive wars, and consistently impoverish the poor to enrich the wealthy. The Bitcoin revolution represents the antithesis of this system, and Saylor believes the world is finally recognizing the importance of this new asset. The MicroStrategy founder and executive chairman asserts that we have entered Bitcoin's gold rush decade, during which billions of people, millions of corporations and institutions, thousands of billionaires, and over 100 nation-states and sovereign wealth funds will embrace Bitcoin and the new digital financial system. We will now share clips from Michael Saylor's recent interview with CNBC.
Stop. You don't have time. Don't miss out this 2025 bull run. Educate yourself first ahead of the crowd. We have created the ultimate step-by-step crypto cheat guide that will guide you this bull run. Unlock the secrets of crypto and make smarter investments today. Now by clicking on the link below to get your exclusive copy just under $10.
I think the events of Bitcoin 2024 in Nashville a few weeks ago were just very catalytic and marked an inflection point for Bitcoin. You had presidential candidates, you had governors, you had senators, you had House members, you had CEOs, you had billionaire investors in the audience. Senator Lummis presented a strategic Bitcoin reserve bill, and that's our Louisiana Purchase moment. What happened there was the Overton window shift. Now it's possible to discuss nation states holding Bitcoin on the balance sheet. And if nation states are going to buy it, then it's reasonable for institutions, corporations, and individuals to buy it as well. So that was tremendous. Well, Thomas Jefferson purchased the Louisiana Territory for $15 million in 1803 and nearly double the size of the United States. Seward paid $7 million for Alaska. It's got $1 trillion of oil underneath it. Everybody's going to be doing business in cyberspace. Bitcoin is scarce, desirable digital property. It's a great idea to trade a little bit of currency or paper for some place that billions of people are going to be in 100 years. So yeah, I think it's a great idea. It's desirable property, and if you're capitalizing a country based upon scarce, desirable property, buying Manhattan, buying the United States, buying Alaska, anywhere you can do business, it's the basis of a great empire. So no, I think it's a good idea for a nation, but it's an equally good idea for a corporation, an individual, a family, or the like. MicroStrategy is a Bitcoin development company. We're an operating firm, and that means we have some advantages over a trust company. We've got permanent capital. We can generate cash flows. We've got operating flexibility. Our shareholders want more Bitcoin per share. They think if we get more Bitcoin per share, that's creating shareholder value. That means we're pursuing BTC yield. Whenever we can do a capital markets transaction that's accretive and generates more Bitcoin per share, we'll do it. We have the ability to sell equity into the market at a premium to net asset value. We have the ability to issue convertible bonds. We have the ability to generate operating cash flow. We're just going to keep generating more Bitcoin per share any way we possibly can by selling the volatility of the asset class and then sweeping it into the underlying asset.
While speaking at the Bitcoin 2024 conference in Nashville this July, Michael Saylor, along with several other prominent guest speakers, including former U.S. President Donald Trump and independent presidential candidate Robert Kennedy Jr., shared some extremely bullish predictions and promises about Bitcoin. Among other things, Trump vowed to make America the leader in Bitcoin's ascent if he returns to the White House after the elections. He also promised that the U.S. would never sell its Bitcoin holdings and would continue to acquire more in the future. Robert Kennedy Jr. pledged to purchase 4 million Bitcoin if elected as president. Saylor's predictions were equally striking. The well-known business executive forecasted that within 21 years, Bitcoin could be trading between $3 million and $49 million per coin. He provided 3 scenarios: a bear case prediction of $3 million, a base case of $13 million, and a bull case of $49 million for the leading cryptocurrency by 2045. Saylor also expressed similarly bullish sentiments and overall optimism about Bitcoin in a recent interview with Bloomberg Television. Here are some clips from that discussion.
We're always buying Bitcoin, quarter by quarter by quarter. It's a long-term strategy. But the most important point for people to understand is that Bitcoin volatility is a feature. It's not a bug. The volatility creates tens of billions of dollars of credit and liquidity at all times, everywhere, to everyone in the world in the short term. But over the long term, that volatility is driving superior asset performance and durability. So it's volatile because it's functional. The other markets are all closed and they're crippled by the physics and the politics of the asset. The reason it moves is because it's functional. It's digital capital, and it's superior to physical capital or financial capital. Bitcoin's a capital investment you can hold for decades that a corporation, competitor, counterparty, or a country can't take away from you. So it'll create generational wealth for your family, your corporation, or your country. You can liquidate it at any amount, anytime, anywhere in the world, or you can hold it for any amount of time without active management or business acumen. So yeah, it's volatile, but it's so superior to every other option that you have for long-term capital management that I actually think the world is just waking up to discover this virtue. We look at Bitcoin as cyber Manhattan. So there's never a bad time to buy up scarce, desirable real estate in the greatest city in North America. There's never a bad time to buy Bitcoin. So we will just generally acquire it, whenever we have cash, whenever we can raise money in the capital markets, whenever we see the opportunity. I think timing the market is almost impossible for the mere mortal. It's time in the market that matters. There are hundreds of thousands of investments that people can make, and I don't opine on any particular real estate, equity, or crypto investment. Bitcoin is special because it is literally the most powerful computer network in the world. It's the most powerful. It's got the most electrical power. It's got the most computer power. It's got the most economic power. It's got the most political power. The fact that it runs on 17 gigawatts or more of electricity means it's got more power than the United States Navy. That makes it nation-state resistant and nuclear hardened. So my view is if you're going to put away billions of dollars for decades, you're going to want a very powerful crypto network to defend it. And there really is no second best. The future is digital. There's a race to own cyberspace. And we saw an entire set of politicians waking up to this. Senator Lummis has offered the strategic Bitcoin reserve legislation, and that's our Louisiana Purchase moment. Donald Trump has said, we won't sell our Bitcoin. And that makes BTC the apex property of the United States. The only thing that the nation won't sell are its national parks, its nuclear weapons, and it's Bitcoin. I think that the conversation has shifted, and every politician in the world is starting to realize that Bitcoin's the most desirable property in cyberspace. It's the future.
Meanwhile, in an unexpected show of resilience, it appears that older investors are stronger holders than initially believed. According to a recent tweet from senior Bloomberg ETF analyst Eric Balcones, iShares Bitcoin Trust investors were almost entirely unfazed by the recent crash that pushed Bitcoin below $51,000 earlier this week. The tweet reads, "So IBTC investors woke up on Monday to a minus 14% move over the weekend after enduring an 8% decline the week prior, and what did they do? Absolutely nothing. Zero flows. Compared to some of these younger investors, these boomers are like the Rock of Gibraltar. You guys are lucky to have them." This surprising reaction to the crash in crypto and stocks saw institutional investors holding firm and buying the dip, while retail investors panicked and sold off. According to Bloomberg, hedge funds snapped up individual U.S. stocks at the fastest pace since March during the downturn, reversing a month-long selling spree. Data from Goldman Sachs supported this, showing a significant buying activity, and a separate JP Morgan analysis revealed that institutional investors purchased $144 billion worth of shares as the S&P 500 index dropped by over 3% during the downturn. Is the turmoil over, or is there more to come? How do you think the markets and central banks, especially the Fed, will respond to continued chaos and recession fears? Share your thoughts and your reactions to Michael Saylor's interviews in the comments section below. For more Daily Dose Crypto news, check out these two awesome videos on your screen. Click now and we will see you on the next video.